Hi. Usually when you're passing arguments into um, a method in Java, you know how many arguments you want to pass, but sometimes you don't know in advance how many you want to pass in. So to do that, I was going to show you a trick I just learned. So let's create um, a, a method to sum some numbers, but we want to be able to send it however many numbers we need to at the time. We'll call this sum some numbers. And the trick is, I'm going to return an int for the sum. And I'm going to pass in some ints, but I don't know how many. So the trick is to put int dot 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 and name an array that it's going to stick all the arguments that you pass in into. So what we can do now is let's create a variable called int. Let's call it sum. Let's call it sum, and let's make it equal to 0 to start out. And then let's create a loop, a for loop, to loop through this array that got created when we passed in the integers. So while x is less than the number, let's call this the numbers, just because we're not going to be more than one usually. And then let's put increment x. And then by looping through this, then we want to add it to our sum. So let's do sum plus equals numbers and x, which would be, whichever number it is at the time. Then, oops, I forgot to put dot length. So what we're doing here is looping through this array, which contains however many integers were passed in. We loop through it the number of times of however many there were, and each time we're adding that to our running sum. And then after we go through all that, because we told this thing it was going to return, this method it's going to return an int, then we want to return sum. Okay, so back up here in our main method, to get this thing to run, what we want to do is, let's say, have total, int total equals, and then let's call this sum numbers, and let's pass it something. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Pass it 3 variables. That'll run this, and then loop through 1, 2, and 3, and add them to sum and return it back. Get it stored into total. And then let's do a system out print line. Let's say the sum of the numbers is, and let's say total. Let's see if this works. Sum of the numbers is 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So let's go, just add something else in, see how it goes. 117. Let's say 100, 200, 300, 400. And it looks like it's working.